Hi, it's Etharal here for EGN. Today coming back to you with another one of the Warhammer mod for Crusader Kings 2 Let's Plays. So last time, obviously, as you will remember, we did manage to get onto the sort of main world of the Old World. You can see also I have skipped time ahead a little bit, and some extra stuff has been happening in that our Lord, Moranion, has actually decided to revolt against the High King to try and usurp the throne. We obviously want nothing to do with this guy in this war. You know, he's not somebody that we like at all. I think it's safe to say Tythalia has no love for him after he decided to declare war on us. So we are not sending over any troops to support him. Instead, what we have been doing is we have actually been able to get claims on the north and the south of the lands that we have in the Oregon Kingdom. So we have actually declared war with them to actually be able to expand that. And there you go. We will see we have got another one there. Not something we can claim just yet, but always something nice to have. And the aim being to obviously claim all of this kingdom in the Old World. And obviously there, we have just recovered from being sick. I think it's safe to say that the constant expansion and stresses of having to lead a kingdom, which is now in effect the size of a kingdom, even though she isn't one officially, that it is definitely starting to get to Tythalia. She has quite stressed, and she's also been ill quite a bit. So we are going to, though, declare our war against this other guy, and then be able to lead him in the battle and lead them all into battle to hopefully take this land. You will notice, I do believe one thing that I have forgotten to do there is I have actually forgotten to expand my kingdom, declare war on these people to expand into the Old World. However, we are actually going to help get rid of these guys. The reason being is literally when we notice them, they are worryingly close to our lands. Obviously, if we are going to be taking all of our people and moving them away to the Old World, the last thing we want to do is have somebody from the actual High King to come and take our lands. Now, not that we care, we'd quite happily, I think it's safe to say, would happily see the High King actually come and slap down our Lord. But unfortunately that's something that we aren't able to do. You will notice he does have quite a few allies as well, so this is going to be quite an even fight. We're going to keep our roughly about sort of 7,000-8,000 or so people, I believe it is, that we have total altogether, you know, ours and our vassals' forces as well. You know, we're going to keep them out of it. We're not getting involved in this war. It's just quite simply not worth it for us. So we are going to sort of let this tick over a little bit though, and then just recoup pretty much all of our forces. We have over obviously 4,000 plus people that we can actually call into this war from ourselves directly. And so we are going to declare war on Oregon. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I've no care. The more important thing is that it is eventually going to become part of Ulthuan. So we will get this started here. You will see we have literally all the claims for the whole of his land. Took us quite a bit of money and quite a bit of time, but we did manage to get it sorted. So we will now begin the standard thing. We will claim, well, we will raise those knights. Unfortunately, not as many as we'd normally like. And also as well, we will raise up all of our forces to be over 4,000 strong of elves. I think it's safe to say that would definitely be a very impressive army for Tythalia to see as she's letting them all sort of leave and go on procession probably as they are all leaving to wave goodbye to them. You will also notice we've managed to assemble an army in the Old World now of over 1,000 men, which is quite a nice amount to have in here. It's something we could, you know, if there was ever an issue in the Old World, we could actually now potentially support the land for a little while. And you can see that it's tried to get Tythalia to join in those forces. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Obviously, as she's been over in Ulthuan seeing off the troops there, then it doesn't really make sense for her to suddenly be able to get to the Old World so quickly. I'm going to bring these 76 guys in. Not a massive amount, but, you know, still nice to have some extra troops there. Having a sort of force of nearly 5,500 total by the end of this. Definitely a nice large army. We would like something a little bit larger, but you know, that is going to come with time. And there we go, that is our whole army. We just assign all of the correct generals, and then we will literally march them off over to the capital of this land first. And so we will hopefully, actually we're going to take this guy. Obviously luckily he was in a revolt at the time, so he was obviously having to sort out that, which has obviously bought us time to get these forces over and what should happen. But we should claim an actual prisoner. Always good, helps the war score if you have prisoners and everything, obviously, so always a nice thing to do if you can. And we'll go check, see how. Now, unfortunately, while we would love to probably call in our allies, I think it's something that is safe to say that we know we're not able to do, as we are on either sides of a civil war at the minute. I think it would be a bit ridiculous to try and call them into the war. Obviously, I don't think that their lord would look too kindly on that, but we shall keep this going, trying to obviously expand. We've already got, you know, a decent bit of score. We've definitely managed to hurt him. Do notice though, obviously to the south of our main force, there is an army of over 1,200 which is steadily improved. So it's steadily actually accruing together. So we are also going to, you will have noticed there, that in Potua it is going to be one of the main focuses for us at the minute, that we are going to hopefully try and develop Potua a little bit so that we can actually have a solid stronghold in the old world to be able to launch our forces from. Obviously if we could get that up to being over 1,000 or so men able to be raised just from that directly, that would definitely be a very, very good thing to get to do. And so we will continue this on. We are going to besiege this castle, and we help pull it, and we managed to pull it down and occupy it reasonably quickly there. And so there we go, just managing there. As you can see, I'm not doing any claims at the minute. What I'm doing is I'm trying to improve my allies' opinion of me, keep them nice and happy. And so we will begin the next siege. And there we go, there is a greenskin crusade, or probably War, as it would actually be known in the Warhammer world. So we're not going to do too much more besieging at the minute. We're actually going to more focus on the battles, trying to keep them as contained as we possibly can. As you may be able to see in the bottom, we're already up to 75% war score, so Tythalia is definitely hearing regular reports that this war is going very well. It is a very simple case at the minute of literally just containing them more than anything, and we will steadily manage to bring them down, so she feels no need to go and join the battle herself. Happy to simply let it go and see how her investments in the old world in Potua are going, to hopefully be able to develop this up into a very, very powerful kingdom that we can use as a main base of operations. She probably sees Potua as something of a second capital. Obviously, we have the capital of our lands back in Ulthuan, but we also do have the capital in the old world as well. And so we are going to keep expanding into here. We have definitely now doing another siege, managing to take Verin, their capital. Will be a big boost to us, massive knockback to them. It is very likely that we are going to be able to take down this young king before, and take away all his lands before he even ends out of his regency. A little bit of a cheap trick, I know, because obviously he really doesn't have much control over his lands at the minute, but you know, they are, to be honest, they are humans, they are usurpers from the old elven kingdom anyway, so we might as well. We'll just take the time to mention as well, I do hope you are enjoying the series. Please do feel free to subscribe and like and everything. If you do, I would obviously love to hear exactly what it is that you would like me to do in this. If there's anything you'd like me to do differently, then please do feel free, and I will be happy to do that. Also, I am looking at some other mods that I might be giving a go. There is obviously the Lord of the Rings one and the Game of Thrones one that I am tempted to go and have a little bit of a go of as well. If that's something that you'd like me to do, please do feel free to let me know. But anyway, getting back to this game though, that you can see that we have managed to keep this war going nice and steadily. We are at the point now where realistically we are just sort of doing the last mopping up. I think it's safe to say that the young king for Oregon knows that he is going to fall, and it's just a case of time. And so there you go. We have also expanded our keep in Portua. We are definitely expanding this land. It is somewhere that we want to have as a very powerful place. And so there we go. And we've also had a claim, well, not a claim, sorry, a sort of judgment call in the courts of a claim against a farmer and against one of my nobles. So we obviously get that resolved. Obviously, with Tythalia sitting as the main judge for that, she is somebody I like to think that is very much somebody who the people do enjoy and are allies with, and are very friendly and popular with her. And there you go. You will also notice that the war for over in Ulthuan, the revolt, has actually ended. I do believe it was actually successful on our side, so our farm king has now actually became the High King of all of Ulthuan. And that is going to cause some interesting changes in our situation at a later date that you will see soon. And also our allies have actually requested that we go into wars. They are having some civil wars of their own. Obviously, Tythalia, wanting to keep these as allies for as long as possible, does agree to join. She needs to finish off her war first, as it was just about done. And then we got just in time for him, unfortunately, becoming old enough to rule his old kingdom. He actually loses all of his kingdom, and we now have a very large swath of land over in the old world. But we are also going to assign this out both to our grandsons and also as well to our children and our grandsons, I should say. Obviously, we want to keep this in the family, and we want to ensure that our family is expanding and becoming even more important. The Ellereth house, I think it is safe to say, is definitely one that is going to be respected now among the Ulthuan. I think it's safe to say we have pretty much fully gotten around all of the issues that happened, 80 years or so ago now, with Tytha, our father. But it is something I think that it's safe to say that Tythalia is still very worried about. She's definitely going to keep doing a lot to try and make sure that he is completely and utterly forgotten about, if possible. And so we are just obviously still doing this. We're going around now down to our grandchildren and handing out some titles to them as well, just to make sure that we keep all this land nice and evenly split up. We don't obviously want any, even though they're all obviously our sons, we don't think they would obviously try to, overthrow us or anything like that. The last thing I want to do is to be, giving one which had more power than another and things like that. It wouldn't end exactly very well. And so we are now returning with all of our troops in Ulthuan. We are going to turn around and aid our allies in their wars and help them to actually be able to protect their kingdoms. Both of their wars were more for usurpers trying to claim things from them, which obviously is something that we aren't going to allow. We need to keep our allies as strong as we possibly can. So we land just south of where the war is happening, and we'll prepare to attack, and we send our fleet back. Obviously it is a drain on our resources that we could afford, but if we have the choice to not afford it, we're obviously going to do that. Now we also do hear word of an army to the south attempt to chase them, but they would seem to have disappeared somewhere, so that's fine. That's something that we'll just have to deal with at a later day. And so we will move through and begin sieging this land and helping these guys out. Kind of strange that these wars are actually going to take a little bit of a while to do, unfortunately, but we will keep everything going as much as we're able. So this is, let's just have a look. So here is what you'll see now, that my former king has actually managed to put somebody else on the throne. I'm actually not sure where he has gone, to be honest. There doesn't seem to be any history recording in the Kingdom of Yvris. He seems to have just completely and utterly disappeared. So not quite sure what happened there, but there is something more important that we will notice that has happened because of it that you will see soon. Notice as well that obviously my king had actually managed to make some land in where the commandars have taken, that he actually had managed to make an elven an elven colony there, which has then obviously been taken over by those guys. Not something we're worried about. We're obviously still going to attack them eventually at some point and be able to take that land so we can claim this whole kingdom. And so let's just have a look. We are obviously going to improve our majesty there, obviously, as they do give us extra bonuses like prestige and piety and things, which is something that we most definitely want. And we are also going to try and help out both of these, as they are actually sort of losing. Not something that we really want to let them do. And our extra sort of 3,000 men, I do believe, will likely be able to turn this around. Taking quite a long time, but we are slowly but surely managing to bring down this siegement for this land, and then we will be able to sort of start to get a good chunk to turn this all around and everything, basically. Definitely is a very nice kingdom, got to admit. I think it's safe to say that my soldiers being over on the mainland in Ulthuan definitely appreciated getting to see just what it's like on the actual mainland rather than on their small island chain, which is kind of sort of almost half forgotten about. We do then hear obviously word of raiders happening in the Old World who've decided to come and pay us a visit. Not something that we are going to allow. So we have an army of over 1,300 men, but something that they're obviously already running, so we're going to leave that for the minute. We will obviously have to keep more tracks on that in the future. I think this just goes to prove exactly what Tythalia was already wanting to do, of expand the Old World Kingdom and strengthen it, and definitely something that we are going to have to do. We're going to use this as an opportunity. There was somebody trying to do a plot against us, so we are going to have a look at imprisoning him and see what we can do with that. And so let's have a look here. It's nothing really much to do, so we will just sort of leave him in prison for the time being, trying to be as just as we possibly can until we've managed to make sure that he is regretting everything. And they're just checking what is the army size that I can actually raise. The reports do come back to Tythalia that there's over 1,500 levies that she can raise over in the Old World at any one time. Definitely something that is going to be useful for us in the future. We do then, looking back at these civil wars that are going on in Ulthuan, we are managing to make a good dent. You will notice they've both gone up to over 50%, so we think they're pretty much, they've managed to turn the tide, basically. Everything's going nice and simply there, and there we go. They have managed to have a white piece, I believe it was, with that one, which is always good. So now we can focus our attention on this one. You will notice that it is over 60% now. It is definitely a very, very good way, and this siege that they did have there is one that is going to fall pretty quickly, to be honest. It's already down, halfway through before they will actually surrender. Luckily it is actually a city as well, so it's not something that is exactly going to be all that difficult for us to besiege. Now we will go and join up with these 7,000, or just shy of 7,000 men. So that now means there is, over sort of 10,000 men or so, or 10,000 elves in this land. And there we go. They have managed to get 100% war score there, and there we go. I have now, as I said, became depressed again. I had to manage to get rid of it once, but once again it has happened that it is very much a case that unfortunately the amount of stuff that Tythalia is trying to do is unfortunately just stressing her out completely, and something she's going to keep going. She still has targets that she wants to do with her life. She's not going to give up yet, but it is definitely something that is starting to drag her down quite a bit. So this is pretty much where we are going to leave it for today. I don't think we'll be doing too much or anything at the minute. It's mainly just going to be a plan of seeing what it is we can focus on to expand to. Just checking that these people, if they are something that we do have 2 claims against them, so it's something we could expand into their land, but we don't want to just yet. We want to obviously make sure that they are somebody who we will definitely be able to defeat first, and there is quite a bit that we need to do before we are ready for that one, I believe. And So as I say though, we will pretty much leave it here for today. Obviously, if you do have anything that you would like me to see do in this series, please do feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear some of your suggestions, how to maybe expand a little bit quicker, or you know, if there's any targets that you want me to try and do. And also as well, do remember, please do subscribe. I do put out videos pretty regularly. I'm aiming to put them out more than twice a week at the minute. And obviously it's something that you will be able to get notifications for when those happen. Makes everything a little bit easier for yourself, so you're not having to come back and check regularly or anything like that. And you will notice there, just nicely at the end, we have noticed that because our new queen is in, or high prince or whatever she's called, is actually in prison, the old laws of not allowed to declare war on two other vassals is actually now exempt. And so that is something that we are definitely going to be making a lot of use of in the next episode. So please do keep watching, as that is going to make something that is going to be very interesting for us to do in later episodes. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. I have been Etharal here for you, Jen, and I shall see you next time.